touch your nose if you can see me. Put your hands on your head if you can hear me.
I can.
Bentley, you want to come sit right here? So you can sit right there. Okay. Hold both your hands together and put them in your lap. Okay, we want to keep our hands to ourselves and try not to call out or anything. If you have questions or ideas, just raise your hand and I'll call on you, okay? So recently, you guys have learned a little bit about the Lewis and Clark expedition, right?
Yep.
Give me a thumbs up if you remember that. Good. So, what we're going to be learning about today is a person who made that trip successful. And it was a young girl who was a Native American, Native American means the same thing as Indian, so some of the first people that lived here. And her name was Sacagawea. Can you say Sacagawea?
Sacagawea.
Okay, one more time. Ready? Sacagawea. Good. All right, thanks. Go ahead, make a bubble. So we're going to read about her in this really cool book called Who Was Sacagawea? This is what she looks like right here. And
She has a baby.
we're going to learn about her, and we're going to learn a lot about what life was like for Native Americans. DJ, sit on your bottom, please. It was a lot different than how we live today. So while we're reading the book, I want you to look at the pictures and pay attention to what did they wear, where did they live, like what did they look like, as well as what they like to do for fun, and kind of how they got their food. Just things that are a little different than what we do today.
Does it have color? Put that on the screen.
All right, I can't start until everyone's quiet.
Put on the
Can you
screen.
make a bubble, please? Thank you. Okay. In the year 2000, the United States issued a dollar coin. Its head side shows an American Indian woman. She's carrying her baby. So right here, this is Sacagawea. Who is this young mother? Her name was Sacagawea. Can we say that all together again?
Sacagawea.
Good. All right. 200 years ago, she went with Lewis and Clark on their expedition. The explorers traveled across the American Northwest. When the explorers were hungry, she found food. When they met Indians along the way, she acted as a translator. Does anyone, I want you to touch your nose if you know what a translator is.
No.
Okay, so a translator is a person who kind of helps communicate with people who speak different languages. Thanks to Sacagawea's help, the expedition was a success. Yeah, gotta see the picture. Okay. The Lewis and Clark expedition changed American history. It helped the United States settle a huge region. This area is what became the states of Idaho, Washington, and Oregon. And you talked with Ms. Lee a couple days ago or yesterday about the Louisiana Purchase. Does that sound familiar? So that is the area right here. Sacagawea was only 16 years old when she crossed America with her baby on her back. This is her true story. All right, please make sure you're listening. All right, can you guys see the picture? There we go. Sacagawea was born in what is now Idaho in 1789 or 1790. So that was a long time ago, right? Yeah. She was a Shoshone Indian. Her tribe lived along the Bitterroot Range of the Rocky Mountains, and they often camped near Snake River. So they were called the Snake Indians. So can you guys see the pictures up here?
Yeah.
Do you see all the people?
No.
If you think that they dress a little different than they dress now, can you put your hand on your head? We're going to talk about that in a little bit. They do look a little different, don't they? Can you put your hands down? All right, and I want you to also pay attention to these things in the background that kind of look like tents. We're going to learn about them on the next
They're
page.
tents, right?
We're about to find out. They're very similar. Okay, listen please. As a child, she had many different names. This was common for young Indians. In time, she became known as Sacagawea. Sakaga means bird and Wea means woman. So her name really means bird woman. She may have been called bird woman because she was small and moved quickly like a bird. 1 second. Sacagawea had an older brother and another brother and sister. And her family lived in what is called a teepee, which is a type of tent. So do you see this picture right here? It's called teepee. Can you say teepee?
Teepee.
Good. This is what they lived in. Does this look like your house?
No.
No.
Is it like a tent?
It's kind of like a tent, and it's made out of...
Straw and blanket.
All right, listen
and
please. Listen please. Thank you. It is made out of animal hide, which is kind of like leather in their skin. Can anyone raise their hand and let me know what their house is made out of? All right, Zoe, what's your house made out of?
Wood.
All right, just Zoe should be talking. Zoe, what's your house made out of? It's made out of wood. Good. I'm gonna get one more person. Devontae, what's your house made out of?
Wood.
Wood. So a lot of times our houses are made out of wood or brick, but that's not how their house is made. And their house looks a little
Mine is
different.
brick.
Their house is a little different too. Doesn't it look different? Looks like a tent,
I
like
was
you
gonna
said.
say mine's a
All
brick.
right, I can't go to the next page until everyone's ready.
Like
Yes, Riley?
I have one of those stuff
Okay, good.
because I have a stuffed animal like that.
All right, we're gonna learn some more about it. You guys ready to go to the next page?
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Sit like a student. Between May and September, the Shoshone, which is the tribe, the people, camped along streams. They fished for salmon and trout. In the fall, they packed up their teepees, which is their houses, onto their horses, and they headed east to the plains of present-day Montana. So, I want you to give me a thumbs up if you think you know the answer to this. When you have to go places, do you normally get on a horse to get there? Give me a thumbs up if you want to tell me how we get there. All right, Kirsten, how do we get from place to place? A car. So this was a long time ago. They didn't have cars, so they rode horses. All right, good. Hands down.
Another animal.
Hands down. There, the men hunted buffalo, riding horseback, and using bow and arrows. So they had to hunt for their food and fish for their food. But that's not really how we get our food, is it?
No.
No.
We get it from the store.
Yeah, we normally go to the store
And eat
or to a restaurant.
trilogy.
All right, everyone, are you ready? The weather was often very cold, so Shoshone men, women, and children needed lots of warm clothing. Sacagawea wore a dress and leggings that were made of deer skins. Over these went a knee-length robe made of buffalo hides. The robe became the blanket at night. Her warm winter shoes were made from buffalo hide with the woolly hair on the inside, and her clothes were decorated with beads and porcupine quills. So they decorated their clothes just like how some of our clothes have pictures on them or jewels and stuff like that. They decorated their clothes too.
Mine has a picture on it, right, Missy?
Everyone look up here, please. The Shoshone did not have schools. Sacagawea learned by working beside the women of her tribe. She collected wood for fires, and she helped make moccasins, clothing, and teepees. Does anyone know? I want you to touch your nose if you know what a moccasin is. Zoe, do you know what a moccasin is? What is it?
It's a kind of a boot.
Yeah, it's kind of like a boot. There's a picture right up here. It's like a shoe. So they would make their own shoes, and they were called moccasins. She picked berries and dug roots for her family to eat, and she learned to make medicines from plants. The village elders taught Sacagawea the beliefs of their people, and she heard how the Creator made the world and how He made human beings.
Wait, did you make this?
So a lot of the times, they would sit around, you see them sitting around the fire right here? They would spend time sitting around the fire and talking and telling stories to have fun. Can you raise your hand and tell me a way that you have fun? I'm just going to call on one person so we don't have too much time. Emily, what does your family normally do to have fun?
Go outside and play with our toys.
So they go outside and they play with their toys. So this is one way that Native Americans are a little different. They would spend time and tell stories around the fire.
Okay, so now we're going to do a fun activity. You've seen the bags on your table, so we're going to do an activity with those. And we're going to do an activity to compare the life of Sacagawea and other Native Americans long, long ago and our lives today. So at your table, you're going to have a baggie, and you're going to have, your pictures will be a little smaller, but ours are bigger just so you can see. No, we're going to put them in the bags. So you're going to have pictures in your bags, and these pictures have things that they did a long time ago and things that might seem similar to you now, like your house, what you like to do, the food you eat, how you get from place to place. And we're going to put those in different bags for different categories. The first category is going to be for long ago. So things that Sacagawea did, things that she liked to do. That's going to be long ago, and it's going to have a picture of Sacagawea on it. It's going to say long ago. So anytime that you pick a picture out of the bag that seems like it'd be from a long time ago, you're going to put it in this bag with your group. And then there's also going to be pictures of things that you do today, how you get from place to place, what your house looks like, what your food is, and you're going to put that in a bag that says today, and it has a picture of a little boy and girl on it that looks like you today. So when we tell you to go back to your seat, you're going to work with your group to put these in the categories for the bags, okay? Now when you do this, you're not going to do it all by yourself. We have to share the work with everyone at our group, okay? Okay, so let's do one together. If I picked the teepee out of my bag, put your finger on your nose if you think you know which bag this would go into. Haley, what bag would this go into? Long ago, and how do you know that? Where have we seen this? In the book. So this is something that Sacagawea lived in and other Native Americans long time ago. So we have other pictures, and when you get to your table, that's what you're going to do with your group. Raise your hand if you could tell me one thing that's going to be on your table when you get there. RJ.
Bag.
A bag. And what's going to be in that bag? Pictures. And what else is going to be on our table, Bella?
2 bags.
The 2 bags for long ago and today. Okay, so I want everyone to stand up and stay where you are. And walk quietly back to your desk.
I don't think yeah, make sure y'all share, like they said.
I'll get us another one. So we're gonna count on this. Okay.
I put long ago in there.
All right. Junior, you want to come over here and help us out?
Yeah, you can. Was this today?
How do you know that was today? How do you know?
Because
It looks like that, yeah.
houses goes today. Car goes today.
You don't know this? Okay, well let's look at
This
it.
goes today. Does this go today? Does this go today?
Look at it, Bentley. Look at it. What is it?
Because it had the bow and arrow and it has Native American on the front.
Yeah, we're finished. This is a Let's see from today. Oh, this is today. Today. That's not today. This is today. I can't reach it. Is that today?
What is it?
It's a plant that make medicine. Hey, you forgot one. This is today. And that's today. Give it back to me. Okay. Okay, we're done. I made a kid. No, what
How'd y'all do? Good?
That's how I do good.
Okay.
Communicating with other people. Instead of us being on our phones, they tell storytelling. So where should this go? Long ago. What about this picture? Jameson, what does this picture look like? Today, and what is this? Why is this today?
Because we have house.
And what is our houses made out of? Okay, what about this picture, Jameson? What's your nose? Do you know where this goes? Where do you think this goes? Long ago or today? Long ago? Yeah, it's already.
This part.
Give me please. If you're still working, that's okay, but if you're finished, I need you to put your bags in the middle of the table and put your head down so that we know. We got a couple more groups that are still working. And then
Okay. So I have the bags up here that you had, but we have a chart up here, and this one says long ago, and this has a picture like your bag did. And this one says today, and it has a picture like your today bag did. So we're going to pull these cards out of here, and you're going to touch your nose if you know where it goes, okay? Don't say the answer out loud. Okay.
What are you going to do if you know the answer?
Long ago.
You're going to touch your nose. We're not going to
So
yell
the
out loud.
first picture we have is of a house. Touch your nose if you think this is long ago or if this house is today. Junior, where do you think this picture goes? Today. And why did you say today? House. And what are our houses made of today?
Whoa. Plastics.
Junior? Wood and brick.
Plastic. No. Plastic.
All right. Remember, we're going to work on not yelling out, please. All right, I'm going to pick the next one. Can you guys see this picture? It's a picture of a little boy and a little girl, and they're dressed a certain way. If you think you know what category it is, can you touch your nose, please? Haley, long ago. How do you know that?
Because it's just this different way.
Because they're dressed differently than how we dress today.
What are the shoes called that we learned about in the book that they wore?
Touch your nose if you know.
I don't know.
Callie Beth, do you remember what they were called? Yeah. Does anyone else know? Touch your nose if you want to help her out. Zoe? Close. Yeah, they're called moccasins. Can you guys say moccasins?
Moccasins.
Good. Okay, let's see what the next one is.
Touch your nose if you think this is from long ago or from today. Bentley?
Long ago.
Long ago. Why'd you say long ago?
Because it was long ago because they were hunting long ago.
They hunted for their fish and their food.
All right, on this Metsinger's thing now, I'm going to pull for the next one. Remember, if you know the answer, touch your nose. It looks just like this. It's a type of house. Let me see. Riley, do you think this is from long ago or from today?
Long ago.
How do you know?
Because people's house is like a straight house. That's a tent.
This is like a tent. Can you touch your head if you remember what this is called? Touch your head if you know what this is called. RJ, do you remember? What's it called? Alright, Kirsten? TP. Everyone say TP. Good. Right, let's get some more going.
Nope.
Touch your nose if you know if this is from long ago or if this is something we do today.
Today.
Touch your nose. What, Jace?
From today.
From today. And what made you say today?
Because long ago they didn't have cars.
They didn't have cars.
They had horses.
And do you think that they could just get in a car or go on a horse and ride to a pizza place like this is? No. And we get our pizza delivered to us. Could they get their food delivered to them?
Or we could just go there and drive over there and get the food.
All right, let's see the next one. Okay, I'm going to show the picture. Are you looking up here, DJ? Kyla? Layton? Can everyone see the picture? Okay, touch your nose if you think you know what category it goes in. Kyla, where do you think this one goes?
It goes long ago.
Long ago? What makes you say that?
Because they used to sit around the fire and tell stories.
Yes, they did. And that's not really how we always hang out and spend time today, is it?
But sometimes people tell scary stories.
Yeah, that is something that we do. Sometimes we tell
If
scary
the power
stories.
is off, you can do candles.
Touch your head if you know if this is from long ago or if this is something that we do today. Devontae. Today. What did you say today? Can anyone help Devontae out why this would be today. And it just like that. And what is he holding?
A phone.
A phone. And looks like he's listening to music. Could they just walk around with their phone and listen to music
they
long ago?
didn't
They didn't even have phones.
How did they keep each other?
This is the next one. I feel like you guys will do this one pretty quick. All right. Let's see. Gideon, do you think this is from long ago or from today?
Today.
How do you know that? What makes you say that?
Because they don't have cars.
Because they didn't have cars, did they?
Pizza.
All right, we've only got a couple more left. We'll check on that. Okay.
Touch your nose if you know if this is from long ago or today.
It's the
Okay.
cookies.
Long ago, and why is it long ago?
Because they're riding in a horse.
They're riding on a horse. So, do we ride on horses to get to the store, to get home? What do y'all ride on to get home? Cars, or you ride the bus? Do they have buses? No. So they had to ride on horses to get around.
One time I ride on a horse. Why is it the glue on today?
All right. We've only got two left.
Two people riding horses to go.
All right. Put both hands in the air. Wave your hands. Get the wiggles out. We're almost done. Hold your hands. Put them in your lap. Make a bubble, please. And face this way. All right. I'm going to show you this picture. DJ, you looking, buddy?
I know that.
If you think you know the answer, touch your nose. Mackenzie.
Today.
You think this one's today? Why do you think this one's today? She's dressed like we are. Let's see if our friends think anything else. Does anyone else have any other ideas, maybe? Junior, what do you think? Long ago? Why do you think long ago? Yep, so we dressed a little different than this. I know that picture is kind of hard to see. And sometimes we do wear dresses that look like that, but that one was long ago. All right, boys. We have one more left, okay?
Raise your hand if you think this is long ago or if this is today. Riley? Today. And why do you say today?
Because we dress like that, and we have shoes, and we do our hair.
We do our hair like that, and we wear clothes with pictures on it, like footballs and flowers. Could they really make clothes back then that had footballs on them? No.
All right, so can anyone, I want you to raise your hand for this answer. Tell me who we talked about today. What was her name? That was a hard name. DJ? Close. Callie Beth? Close. Emily? Sacagawea. Okay, everyone on the count of three. We're not going to yell. We're just going to say no. We're going to say Sacagawea. 1, 2, 3. Sacagawea. All right. Can you give me a thumbs up if you learned some things about how we live today is different from how the Native Americans lived during Sacagawea's time? All right. Awesome.
All right. Thanks for doing our activity with us today.
You're welcome.
To stand up. Stand up quietly. Sit back down.
Sit back down. Sit back down.
When we stand up, we're going to stand up quietly. So stand up.